Inescapably, the ruling empire that is America has officially run its course. Shockingly, 50% of Americans are receiving some sort of federal assistance, and 35% of Americans are on welfare. This translates into an eventual collapse when the burden becomes too large and the government can no longer keep this hidden. If the government attempts to fix this issue by reducing its welfare, countless Americans will be unable to live. The game is over. Let's get into the shocking statistics today, the ones that the mainstream media simply will not cover. The 35.4%, 110 million on welfare. This is out of CNS News. And you can see here that 110 million, that's about a third of the people in the US are on welfare. What does that say about the actual housing recovery, about the economic recovery, about everything when the government is paying the tab? And this is what they say here. 110 million taking welfare, or 150 million people getting some sort of federal benefits other than veterans benefits. So half of the population is getting some sort of assistance from the government. This is impossible to deny when you're looking at the recovery. This is what I say to so many deniers out there when you're trying to argue that everything is just fine because you're looking at the Dow Jones, you're looking at the S&P, and you're using that to determine that everything is okay. You look at PE ratios, you look at all these things that don't matter when you have half of the population requiring the government to live. That's the kind of truth that I bring out here. Now, all of the subscribers on here, some of the probably the best subscribers around, are on this channel because they realize, the majority of them realize, that what's coming down doesn't have to do with PE ratios. It has to do with 50% of the people needing the government to live. Let me go on. Fed debates merits of earlier rate hike given the U.S. job gains. They said that, everything is just fine in the economy. The jobs are gaining, unemployment is decreasing, and everything is just fine in the world. And there are rainbows and flowers everywhere. But that is absolutely not the case. Now, if they decide to, I don't see how it's going to be possible, but if they actually do increase rates, they can't increase them meaningfully, because if they do, you're going to crash the economy. It's a simple matter as that. In my book, I wrote about how exactly they come to these numbers, and that is partially because of the temporary workers that they hire. They are always hiring these new cycle of temporary workers to make it look like the job numbers are okay. These are not full-time employees. They don't talk about workers leaving the workforce. They only talk about new jobs added, and that is because they're all temporary. So they're continuously being rehired, and it looks like everything is fine, but that's not the case. The way they get the unemployment numbers so low is because people are disgruntled and they do not look for work after that 1 year, or cannot find work after that 1 year period, and they're wiped off the statistics. It is quite criminal. And here we have the food stamp statistics. You may not be able to see this here. I'll move on quickly, but just wanted to say that there are nearly 50 million people on food stamps. Literally, people cannot eat without the government assistance right now. Now, if you don't really see where this is coming, I really have to make you understand here that if the government pulls out from these assistance programs or reduces it to a significant portion in order to basically get their fiscal house in order, you're going to have civil unrest, you're going to have riots, you're going to have Ferguson happening all over the US, and that is going to extend on to other countries. Look at this. Nobel economists say policy blunders pushing Europe into depression. Now, let's go with that for a minute here. They're talking about a depression occurring in the Europe area, the EU, and this is obviously going to be a huge problem because you're trying to, which connects into the second point, you're trying to use a single currency and a single interest rate for all of these different countries. It was a failure from the beginning. Many economists have agreed with me on this, but the fact remains is that how are you going to get out of this? Well, their plan has always been austerity. The austerity in a way could be good, but it's the wrong type of austerity. You're squeezing the neck of the individual citizen when you should be doing that to the bankers. But of course, that's absolutely not what's happened. This is a problem that has extended all throughout the world and will continue to collapse into the ground. That's what I worry about. Now, if you like this information, don't forget to share it with your friends and family on your Facebook and your Twitter and all of the other social media programs out there. It is very important. I want to thank each and every one of the subscribers. You guys are the best, and I see all the comments, trying to reply to every single one. I'm getting tons of emails, and I'm getting tons of emails on the insiders as well. I really appreciate all that. Try to get back to you guys, try to give as much information as I possibly can, and I'm really enjoying what we're doing here. We're really sharing all the information. I certainly don't know everything. I try to give everything that I've known and I've read through all the books, all the teachings that I've received, and hope to give that to everyone as well. If you want to be an insider to get the best intel, it's totally free. It's at themoneygps.com. You scroll down to the bottom, you fill in your email address, and you get occasional emails from me.